Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Statisticians Hub. Today we are going to learn how to perform cross-tabulation and chi-square test in SPSS. Myself, Gitanjali Sinha from Statistics Department, Assam University, Silchar. Now let us see what chi-square test of independence and cross-tabulation is. Chi-square test of independence. The chi-square test of independence is used to determine whether there is a significant association between two categorical variables. If two variables are related, the probability of one variable having a certain value is dependent on the value of the other variable. This test is used when we have counts of values for two nominal or categorical variables and is considered as non-parametric test. Cross-tabulation. Chi-square test utilizes a contingency table to analyze the data. A contingency table, also known as cross-tabulation, is an arrangement in which data is classified according to two categorical variables. The categories for one variable appear in the rows and the categories for the other variable appear in columns. To analyze our data using a chi-square test of independence, we need to make sure our data satisfies the following assumptions. The first assumption is our two variables should be measured at an ordinal or nominal level. Assumption number 2, the subjects in each of the group are randomly and independently selected. Assumption number 3, for applying chi-square test, frequencies in the various cells should be reasonably large, that is greater than or equal to 5. The test statistics for the chi-square test of independence is noted as chi-square and is computed as chi-square is equal to first summation I goes from 1 to R, second summation j goes from 1 to C, Yj minus Eij whole in square divided by Eij follows chi-square variate with R minus 1 into C minus 1 degrees of freedom. Here, R is the number of rows and C is the number of columns. Yj is the observed cell count in the ith row and jth column of the table. Eij is the expected cell count in the ith row and jth column of the table. Eij is computed as row I total into column j total divided by grand total. We then compare the calculated chi-square value to the critical value from the chi-square distribution table with degrees of freedom R-1 into C-1 and chosen confidence level. If the calculated chi-square value is greater than critical chi-square value, then we reject the null hypothesis. So now let us see how to interpret the result of chi-square test in SPSS. In chi-square test, if the p-value is less than the significance level 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. And if the p-value is greater than the significance level, we fail to reject the null hypothesis and thus accept it. Let's see with an example how to perform chi-square test in SPSS. So here is the question. From the data given in the following table, find out whether there is any relationship between gender and the preference of color. So this is the table, and here we need to see if there is any relationship between gender and their preference of color. So now let us set the null hypothesis. H0, there is no relationship between gender and the preference of color, against the alternative hypothesis. H1, there is relationship between gender and the preference of color. Now let's open the SPSS. Here this is our variable view. I have three different variables. The first one is color, second gender, and third frequency. These are my variables type, and I have set all the variables with as 8 and decimals as 0, and I have labeled color as color preference and gender as gender frequency and frequency, and I have coded the color 1 as red, 2 as blue, and 3 as green, and I have also coded the gender 0 as male and 1 as female. And these are the measures of our variable. Color is nominal, gender nominal, and frequency as scale. So now we will go to our data view, and this is our data. So to perform chi-square test, first we have to click on data, and then we will choose weight cases and select weight cases by and bring this variable frequency to the right side under frequency variable and then click OK. So we will not save this. Then again we will go to analyze and click descriptive statistics and again click cross tabs. And since we have to perform chi-square test in two variables, that is color preference of the people and gender. We will bring these two variables to the right side, one in row and the other in column. Then again we will click on statistics and then select chi-square test and click continue. Again we will click on cells, and as observed is already checked, we will check on rows and columns under percentage and then click continue, and then again click OK. So this is our output, and this is our cross tabulation, which tells us about the characteristic of the data. Here we can see what percentage of individual categorized by gender favor particular color. So here red is preferred by this percentage of male and this percentage of female, so we can tell red is preferred by females more than male. And this is our chi-square test. Here the chi-square value is 31.349 with 2 degrees of freedom, and this is our p-value 0.001, which is less than our significance level 0.05. That means we can reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a relationship between gender and preference of color. So here we are done with our chi-square test of independence and cross tabulation. Thank you for watching, and for more such informative videos, do subscribe our channel Statistician Hub.